They're never arrested or persecuted. Igbo groups urge Tinubu to address herdsmen killing. Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for tuning in and listening to this headline that we got to your ears this morning. As our headline for this morning says that they are never arrested or persecuted. Igbo groups urge Tinubu to address herdsmen killing. Well, the Igbo Development Foundation (ADF) has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to urgently address the continuous killing of innocent Nigeria by Fulani herdsmen in the southeast. Southern Nigeria and the Middle Belt. Chief Abia Unike, the National Secretary of ADF, expressed concern over the lack of arrest or prosecutions of these perpetrators by law enforcement agencies. In a statement, ADF emphasized the need for serious action by the federal government to prevent Nigeria from descending into a religious war, warning of potentially disastrous consequences. The group attributed the violence and terrorism in northern Nigeria to religious fundamentalism and stressed its opposition to the open grazing of cattle, which often leads to conflict and loss of life among farmers and herdsmen. Part of the statement reads, "We call on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to immediately arrest the continuous killing of innocent Nigeria by rampaging Fulani herdsmen in the southeast and other parts of the southern Nigeria and the Middle Belt. It is unfortunate that these killers are never arrested or persecuted by law enforcement agencies. Religious fundamentalism is driving the violence and terrorism in northern Nigeria. ADF has opposed to the open grazing of cattle, and the practice often results to the overrunning of communities, avoidable clashes and killing of farmers by herdsmen. While we support the policies of ranching, we believe that it is not the duty of the government to provide lands and financial resources for ranching facilities, as the rearing of cattle is purely a private business and should be treated as such. The ADF welcomes the decision of some elements from the Yoruba and Igbo ethnic nationalities who recently articulated their decision to embark the self-determination of their group as autonomous ethnic nationalities in the Nigerian Federation. ADF believe that the time has come for all ethnic nationalities in Nigeria to assert their right to self-determination as enshrined in the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. The ADF, however, urge all those embarking on their struggles for self-determination to adopt a peaceful and non-violent approach. We believe that the struggle of self-determination is a fight to deepen the democratic rights of ethnic nationalities. It is equally a sure way of bringing an end to the conquest agenda of the hegemonic forces which have held Nigeria to ransom since independence in 1960. And that is all we have for you concerning this headline for you, which says that they are never arrested or persecuted. Igbo groups urge Tinubu to address the herdsmen killings. Well, yes, of course, you had it from me this morning because today's headline is saying that they are never arrested or persecuted. It said the Igbo group urges Tinubu to address herdsmen killing. And the group goes by the name the Igbo Development Foundation. This group just recently called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to urgently address the continuous killing of innocent Nigerians by the Fulani herdsmen in the southern eastern part of Nigeria and also the Middle Belt and the southern Nigeria. Because Chief Abia Uyeke, the National Secretary of the ADF, this man expressed so much concern because of the lack of arrest and persecution by these perpetrators. They said they will cause a lot of problems and they will not be arrested or persecuted. Say the Fulani headsmen, yes, they will cause a lot of problems and they are not even going to get arrested or persecuted by law enforcement agencies. Because in a statement, ADF emphasized the need for serious action by the federal government. He said that the federal government need to take serious action concerning this to prevent Nigeria from descending into a religious war, for making the country not to go into a religious war whereby Christians will be killing Muslims, or whereby Igbos will be killing Fulani and Hausa, said warning the potentiality of that disastrous consequences, disastrous consequences. He called that a disaster. He called that disastrous because yes, it will be very very disastrous. A lot of people will lose their life if something like that happened, and there's no country in the world that's ever praying for that. Yes, nobody wants war. Nobody is ever praying for war. So in order to prevent that, the government need to look at this problem that the southern eastern part of Nigeria right now is having concerning this group of so-called Fulani headsmen. So the group also attributed the violence and terrorism in northern Nigeria to religious fundamentalism. They say that the cause of the violence and terrorism problems in the north Nigeria is because of religious fundamentalism. Say that and stressed its opposition to the open grazing of cattle, which often leads to conflicts and loss of lives and farmers and herdsmen. Say that they stress its opposition. They don't even want the open grazing of cattle because that act alone by those Fulani herdsmen, it often leads to conflicts between the farmers, a conflict and loss of life between farmers and the herdsmen. So and also part of this statement says we call on the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to immediately address the continuous killing of innocent Nigerians by rampaging Fulani herdsmen in the southeast and other parts of the southern Nigeria and the middle belt. And the president has not said something concerning this call that are calling him, because it is unfortunate that these killers are never arrested and prosecuted by law enforcement agencies, and religious fundamentalism is driven to the violence and terrorism in the northern Nigeria. Well, we all pray that the president will hear their words and do something concerning the killings of innocent people in the southern eastern part of Nigeria. Or what do you guys think? Let me see your own comment in the comment section, and don't forget to leave a like on this video. Then tap the subscribe button, and the notification bell, so that anytime I have any new video concerning this, you'll be the first to get notified about it. Once again,